for over a decade. They changed my life. My wife feels unbelievably better and more active. So do many of my listeners, and they could do the same for you. But don't trust me. Listen to Dr. Zuri Morel, who happens to be a colorectal surgeon from Beverly Hills, California. Dr. Z?
I have researched and tested many different probiotics and believe Natron's Healthy Trinity is the best. I use it, and so does my family. I also recommend Natron probiotics to my patients and friends for a healthy gut. It can be uncomfortable to have gas, bloating, indigestion, loose stools, or constipation. Natron probiotics can help keep you regular and promote colon health like no other probiotics. Natron's potency is guaranteed for each strain with continuous refrigeration and second-day cold.
Added cooler section at Whole Foods, Fruitful Yield, or your favorite health food store.
4 times each weekday.
Control our weather. Beautiful weather here this weekend. Sunny and unseasonably warm here this afternoon, low to mid-80s. Fair to partly cloudy skies tonight, mid-60s. Partly cloudy mid-80s on Sunday. Sunny and upper 80s Monday. From WLSAM 890 with another update in 30 minutes.
Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. I'm Christopher Cruz. The storm is slowly weakening and is expected to be downgraded to a tropical depression before day's end. But it continues the assault on the Carolinas. The storm is now blamed for at least 5 deaths. Dana Outlaw is the mayor of New Bern, North Carolina.
Right now we've rescued over 400 people. We still have about 100 that want to be rescued. And we have about 1,200 people in the shelters in Clayton County. And so we still have about 7,000 people in New Bern without power.
About 950,000 people are without power throughout the Carolinas. This is North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
We're still evacuating areas all along the rivers in North Carolina. There's probably not a county or a person that won't be affected in some way by this very massive and violent storm.
Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. I'm Christopher Cruz. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is not pleased with his predecessor, John Kerry. He's accusing Kerry of, quote, actively undermining U.S. policy on Iran by meeting several times recently with the Iranian foreign minister. The British government wants to make divorce easier.
The British government is proposing a no-fault divorce where it will no longer be necessary to prove misconduct or to live apart for a certain number of years before a couple can divorce. One lawmaker says current divorce requirements are out of touch with modern life. If adopted, after a 12-week consultation period, spouses would no longer be able to challenge a divorce application made by their partner. The new law would apply to all forms of marriage, including same-sex and civil partnerships. I'm Carrie Shoemaker.
A company that supplies natural gas to homes in the suburbs of Boston says it's shutting off the supply to all of its customers in the Merrimack Valley by tomorrow. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Texting enrolls for alerts and offers via automatic text message. Message and data rates may apply.
Hello, America. This is how you can cook great tasting dinners at home, and it's easy. Forget about frozen foods and takeout. Instead, join me for great home-cooked food. Introducing Martha and Marley Spoon Meal Kits. Pre-portioned fresh ingredients with my wonderful, easy-to-follow recipes delivered right to your door. And right now, you can try 3 for free. For a very limited time, I'm offering 3 free Martha and Marley Spoon meals to everyone, anywhere. Imagine cooking butter-basted steak, Berkshire pork tenderloin, cheese-stuffed chicken, and more. With new recipes every week, Martha and Marley Spoon helps you put a delicious dinner on your table in around 30 minutes.
Free meals and free shipping. Text FEAST to 246810. Just text the word FEAST to 246810 for details. Hurry, 3 free won't last long. Text FEAST to 246810.
Retailers in the U.S. are hoping for a great online holiday shopping season. Correspondent Ann Kate says if Labor Day shopping is any indication, their Christmas wishes may come to pass.
New data from Adobe Analytics finds Americans spent a record $2 billion online on Labor Day, up 23% from a year ago. Shoppers shelled out money on pizzas and grills, and 30% of Labor Day orders were placed on a smartphone. According to the Washington Post, retail strategists believe the numbers bode well for the holiday shopping season. Last Christmas, retail sales in November and December were the strongest in 12 years. I'm Ann Cates.
Top story of the hour, the slowly moving tropical storm Florence continues to hammer the Carolinas, where more than 950,000 people are without power this morning. Because the storm is expected to drop more than 3 feet of rain, catastrophic flooding is predicted over the next few days. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Got some delays out there on the Eden Spur, eastbound between the Tri-State and Waukegan Road, kind of heavy. On the Kennedy, you're looking at 30 from O'Hare to downtown, 24 back out to the airport. The Eisenhower's 35 from 390 on in, and 29 back to 390. Stevenson is about 38 from 355 to the drive, 34 going the other way. Dan Ryan, 17 in, 15 out, 57 Bishop Ford. Not too badly. Drive a little tight with construction on the Tri-State southbound. It's heavy 75th and mile-long bridge because of road work, and the Reagan is slow eastbound Route 83 to York Toll. Also because of road work. From the WLS AM 890 Traffic Center, I'm Ken Zier with the next update in 30 minutes.
Have you noticed everything has a day? Like National Hot Dog Day. Best with pickles, onions, and absolutely no ketchup. But AARP in Chicago thinks today should be your day. So go explore the neighborhoods. We're working with you to improve transportation and create safer streets. And get safe caregiving resources. We're advocating for you and your loved ones. We're here in our community helping you make a mistake. So grab a Chicago every day with AARP. Learn how at aarp.org/Chicago.
A smile is a sign of health. At Eon Clinics, we use the latest technology to help you conquer gum infections and advance tooth decay with dental implants. Our dental implants fight poor oral health, minimize infections, and function just like strong, healthy teeth. We go out of our way to make sure your procedure is smooth, painless, and is medically advanced for a safe, satisfying outcome. Gain the strength to live your best life with dental implants. Take control of your health and achieve the level of well-being you deserve. Call Eon Clinics today at 844-733-SMILE. That's 844-733-SMILE. Or visit our website at eonclinics.com.
This hour is brought to you in part by Home Sweet Home Chicago, airing Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Guy, I need that change. That's horrible. Yeah, we got to talk to the bulge. I don't like it. I need to change it. There was a guy by the name of Dan Levy who was on there, the big voice guy that they fired, a good friend of mine. So then they bring this guy on. I don't like that opening. So, Chops, we need a new opening. This is David Hochberg. All right, Elwood, how many miles to Chicago, buddy?
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
For the year's assessment on the St. Helena of the Blessed Shroud Orphanage in Calumet City, Illinois.
Well, this is definitely Lower Walker Drive. If my estimations are correct, we should be very close to the Honorable Richard J. Daley Plaza. That's where they got that Picasso. Yep. They're not going to catch us. We're on a mission from God.
312-591-8900, Home Sweet Home Chicago. If you're trying to watch us on Facebook, I've got technical challenges going on here. I have to update something, and I don't understand what I have to update. So I apologize for that. But we're here to help you. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. Show is packed. We're stacked and packed, and we're here to help you. Bring it on. 312-591-8900, WLSSteven.com. WLSSteven.com. We've got a team of experts, our team of experts to help you. We're going to start from my right to your left. We'll be your left if you get it on Facebook, but can't right now. Stephen A. Leahy from Opum Tax Solutions. What do you do and how do people get a hold of you, buddy?
Woohoo! I help people solve IRS problems. So if you have an IRS problem, then you have to give me a call at 312-664-6649. Again, it's 312-664-6649.
All right, next to you is MegaPro's Joe, MegaPro's Home Improvements.
847-658-8989.
What's up, Joe?
Dave, I spent the morning in Roy's convertible sitting in the parking lot, and I had a business seminar. It was incredibly inspirational, and I thank you.
See, this was people helping. It's like a Roy. It's like
I learned
like
more
a Wally
from
Phillips
the show
moment.
off the air than I do on the air.
And can we do next week's show from my convertible?
Yeah,
Dave?
we can do next week's show
Yeah.
from Roy's convertible in Downers Grove. 312 in Roy's garage. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com. To Joe's right is Desi Smith. Desi, how are you?
I am well this morning. Good morning, everyone out there in Radio Land.
You're a last-minute fill-in to Cherie Gilson, who was busy, is in the process of schlepping people around because somebody had to buy a home for whatever reason, so we had a last-minute cancellation. So thank you for filling in for Cherie. If people want to reach you, how do they reach you?
They can reach us at 773-904-0408. And all my clients just went under contract this week, so that's why I'm available today.
So if Facebook was on, though, you could see Desi's hair is usually wild and all over the place, and today it's not. So
she's got it tamed.
I don't know what that's about.
It's raining out. It's been raining
It's
for
not
2
rain-
weeks.
It hasn't rained at all.
It rained for 2 weeks. Trust me.
Yeah, it's usually like 14 inches higher, right? And she's got it tamped down.
It's
today,
not raining, Roy.
It's not raining this week, but it's been raining for 2 weeks.
I'll bet you if you ask Roy how many inches of rain the Chicagoland area has
I bet
received
he
this year,
knows.
he'll be...
How many inches, Roy?
A lot.
Yeah. And next to Desi, we have D. Roy Spencer from Permaseal, close to 40 years, over 300,000 satisfied clients. Been a little busy this year, Mr. Spencer, haven't you?
Been very busy, kind to us and things, but and you know, just natural growth, and our clients been very kind with referrals and all that. So just a combination of things, but what I want to talk about later today, you know, we're busy helping people. We need people to help us. we're looking for good people, but yeah, we're very blessed. Very happy to be here. It's a beautiful day, and I love the beautiful people you got in the studio today.
All right, we're going to be talking about the following things coming up at 10:15. Desi's going to be talking about, I want to buy a home, but I need help with the down payment. We have at 10:30, Gary Novell is going to be calling in why it's important to keep making all payments on time prior to closing your loan. He had some challenges this week from two people that he helped that decided to not make their credit card payment because they were doing a cash-out refinance, and they didn't think they had to make their credit card payment. And guess what? Blew up your credit, and your deal dies. So, I'm talking about that for about 15 years on the radio. Not real smart to do. At 10:45, MegaPro's Joe, MegaPro's Home Improvement, is going to be talking about, I've created a list. We talked about that 2 weeks ago from a caller called in and said he wanted a list. We didn't
So
get...
did you hear that, Roy? I was talking about the things that are important on a contract, and said, hey, that's great, Joe, because you've experienced it, but you shouldn't make a checklist. You would know what to look for, or other people would know.
Oh, and
like a
template
template
stuff, what they
Who's
should be
going to
looking
take care
for.
of the permit is a common
that's
mistake.
great. That'd be a great use. Yeah.
A checklist template. A
I can't
template
wait
for a
for
checklist.
10:45. then.
That's right.
This
So
is
when
great.
will that be on your website?
Hold on. Man.
Yeah, she's
Every
ahead of
time.
the game every time.
But there's a
struggling.
listener out there, Tim. If he calls in, he can help me write it.
There you go. 312-591-8900. So that's at 10:45. At 11, we're going to go over to Stephen A. Leahy. The upcoming filing date, September 8th for corporate tax returns.
Correct.
And October 15th for the unfiled tax returns for people. And we'll talk about more why some people go from April 15th to October 15th, because I have that challenge too. I have a lot of partnerships and whatever, and K1s come after October 15th, so we have to make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. My accountant's finishing up my corporate tax returns this weekend, and then I'll have to send them in on Monday.
I'm also going to talk about people who have unfiled tax returns, because I can't tell you how many people come to see me and they haven't filed in 4, 5, 6 years or more. So if that's you, then listen up, because we're going to talk about it.
And
Dave,
Kevin,
didn't you mail yours in last year without a check?
no, I did that 2 years ago
Was that
and
2
got
years?
whacked
It
with the
seems
penalty.
It seems like yesterday.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Thanks for the
IRS is
reminder.
like, hey, moron! You didn't send in a check. And by the way, here's a nice thousands of dollar penalty so you don't forget next time.
Did you get it abated, David?
I don't. I gave it to my CPA. I'm like, dude,
that's
you
a
know,
mistake.
you sent me a sheet. He said, sign it and send it in. So I signed it, sent it in. I forgot the check part. Okay, well, let's not get all technical.
Next time that happens, talk to Steve Leahy.
Let's not get into the details here. 11:15, permanent seal basement defender. Roy, you're going to be talking about the basement defender and employment open house you have.
Yeah.
Upcoming open house, which is very, very exciting.
It is.
And we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I want to say thank you to BMO Harris, specifically BMO Harris. About 10 months ago, and this happened. I'm not knocking BMO Harris. This actually just happened Thursday. About 10 months ago, they did a huge push to recruit loan officers to come work at their big, wonderful bank it's been in business years, hundreds of years, whatever it is. And one of our guys in our Deerfield office, a guy by the name of Larry, went to go work for them. A great opportunity. You know, he's like, I've got leads coming in from the bank. You know, the mortgage industry's changing. I feel a little more secure there. Okay, great. They were hunting everybody, headhunting everybody, calling me at the office, which frosts me, right? If you want to headhunt, go to LinkedIn, right? Don't send an email on my Pearl Mortgage email address. I mean, you're an idiot, right? So, not that the company can't see the emails coming in, okay? So we have this huge company-wide continuing education on Wednesday. Larry and pretty much all of the outside mortgage originators that they hired get laid off after 10 months. Gone. Gone. So I'm on the bike Thursday. I didn't hear about this till 5:30 Thursday. I'm spinning, right? I get an email. I get a text from his partner, David, and like, hey, did you hear Larry got wiped out yesterday with a bunch of other people, hundreds of other people at BMO Harris? I'm like, what the hell? I almost fell off the freaking bike. It's at 5:35. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, he's out of a job. So I'm like, well, invite him to the Maroon 5 concert because I had 2 open tickets and bring him back into the family and everything will be good. So I'm sitting there talking to Larry last night. I'm like, what happened? He's like, well, I called my boss, and my boss said that the corporation decided after 10 months ago where they're doing a gigantic push to recruit all these people. This is all you loan officers that went to the bastion of safety with these huge banks. Guess what? It's not so safe. So 10 months ago, he's got a wife, 2 kids, a house, 2 cars. Okay, he's got a family to support. So he went there to a better opportunity. Gets wiped out on Thursday. Gone. Hundreds of loan originators, processors, openers, closers. His boss, Suite at the United Center before the concert. I'm like, what the hell happened? He's like, well, I talked to my boss, and he's like, we're de-emphasizing mortgages. So Harris Bank, BMO Harris, according to second person, Larry's boss told him that BMO Harris is de-emphasizing mortgage originations at their bank. So if you would like to get a loan at BMO Harris, guess what? You're going to be going into a call center, and you're going to be talking to somebody that you don't have. And just know that they're de-emphasizing their focus on mortgages, which is banking, which is one of the major pillars of banking, right? Mortgages, credit cards, lines of credit.
What would that mean? Residential mortgages?
Residential mortgages.
Or mortgages in
No, they're still doing line of credit. Right. They're still loaning money. But if you want a mortgage, you're going into a call center. And just be known that BMO Harris is de-emphasizing, according to Larry, who, this is secondhand information that I'm passing on. According to Larry's conversation with his soon-to-be, his now ex-boss. Like, what the hell happened? Well, the bank is de-emphasizing residential mortgages. So, all you genius, loan originators.
Good for you.
Oh, it's great for me. Okay. It's great for me. I love it. So, thank you, BMO Harris, for de-emphasizing that. I guarantee everybody that at Team Hochberg and Pearl Mortgage, it's still a major emphasis. So I want to thank the people up in Canada for making that decision.
You'll be happy to pick up the slack.
Happy to pick Bank of Montreal / Harris Bank. Thank you very much. Hit it chops. I want to thank you. What do you got safety net here? Locally, Chicago, local company.
Talk to the people in person, not just send them somewhere.
Right, you go to a call center. They're still doing mortgages. When you're going to be talking to somebody $18,000 to $20,000 while making $100 a file, something goes wrong with that. Guess what? Have fun with that. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. WLSDavid.com. Coming back, we're going to go to Desi us in with some help with the down payment.
Oh, yeah, you guys are going to something great.
Oh, we are, huh? I'm twisting my husband's arm.
We're talking today with Mega customers Bobby and Jackie.
I've heard so many reports about how and we don't have that with Mexico. They come when they're supposed to, they do the job, they don't ask for a payment, so we're satisfied. We're usually satisfied right away because they do a great job.
Now, he said it all, so I don't have to say it.
Was this a joint decision for you?
You mean my husband agrees?
Yeah.
We've always agreed on Mega. Because my daughter has you and my son, you know. I wouldn't have anybody else but Mega.
One Mega call does it all. 847-658-8989.
I love it, love it, love it.
Wow, Lindsay, even when you produce the home improvement show, you're not always this enthusiastic.
Well, I love it. Love it. The beauty, the colors.
Oh, you mean these quartz countertops at Builder Supply Outlet there?
Oh, I already know, Tom Jenke. Your fabulous designers gave me the rundown. Super high-quality quartz countertops, state-of-the-art precise measuring systems, and quartz is non-porous, so it never needs sealing.
Right. We went on a hunt to find a quartz manufacturer that rivals the best of the best at our everyday outlet prices.
And the winner was?
Mont Surfaces Quartz Countertops. Fast delivery, excellent quality, and when we give you a price, there's no hidden charges.
Loving it.
Come see these gorgeous Montser Builder Supply Outlet on Cermak Road at 25th Avenue in Broadview.
Quality and savings are what you get at Builder Supply Outlet.
Or visit buildersupplyoutlet.com.
This is Home Sweet Home Chicago. If you're interested in talking to David about a mortgage, call him directly at 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333, or visit his website, pearldavid.com, PERL David.com. Now, here's David on WLS AM 890.
Yeah, we here, do me a favor. Stop with that guy. God, what the hell's with that? Okay, yeah, do me a favor. You're pissing Joe off by not bringing the mics. I know I told you. So out of the break, bring the mics back up. 312-591-8900.
Redo my contract.
312-591-8900.
I can't talk back.
All right, hang on. I got a live read here. Are you struggling to pay your mortgage? This is very serious. Itch out for help now. Restoration America is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency and has helped thousands of homeowners find solutions to avoid foreclosure. Their housing counselors will analyze your unique situation, create an action plan with options available through your lender and any other assistance program available. They will help you work with your bank and other resources to apply for assistance and to avoid that F word, which is foreclosure. Best of all, the help is absolutely free. Restoration America never, ever charges fees to help anyone that is behind on mortgage payments or facing foreclosure. Avoid costly foreclosure rescue scams. I said that slowly because they are scams, and people have lost thousands and thousands of dollars going to these scumbags that just steal your money. So don't go to these people. Make an appointment with one of Restoration America's housing counselors today at 847-783-0232, 847-783-0232. Also, at the bottom of the hour, we got Gary Novell coming up. We're going to go shoot over to Desi. Big announcement. We're going to be doing another show, radio show, Saturdays from 1 until 2. More information at the bottom of the hour at 10:30. So super excited to announce that and just go over a little bit before Gary's segment. So we are taking on another show Saturdays 1 to 2. I know you're excited, Roy, to get more information, but just hold tight. This is called the tease. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. We're going to throw it over to Desi Smith. What's going on with people with down payments? Is that still a challenge? What are you seeing in the marketplace with people wanting down payment assistance programs?
Well, there are a lot of people out here who want to buy a house, and they can't quite get enough money. So I've had clients from high-end homes that want to buy something $300,000, $400,000, and they need to save about 20 grand. I've been able to show them this, and this is really important. There is always money in the deal. And sometimes you don't have the right realtor because not every realtor knows how to find the money. So some things you can look for that will give you the money that you need to close the transaction and fill in the gap where you may have some money saved, but you just don't. So I had one client, I'll give an example, who wanted to buy a house for $325,000, and he wanted to save $20,000. And I told him, if I can show you the money, are you ready to buy? And he said,
show me the money.
Show me the money. So the taxes, a lot of people don't realize, is that sellers have to give you a credit because you didn't live in the house the year before. And so you get that tax credit. And the taxes on that house were $12,000. So he ended up with a credit about $9,000 to $10,000. Then I said, I'm going to ask the seller for a credit. And he says, can you do that? I said, no, this man has bought 5 houses and he's had 5 realtors.
Yeah.
And they never asked the seller for a credit before. So I asked the seller for a credit of about 3% of the purchase price, and they granted the request. So my client ended up coming to the table with barely $3,000. They had to show that they had the money saved for their down payment, but they didn't end up using it. And so a lot of times there's money available that people aren't making the ask for you in order to get you in that home. There are in the state of Illinois where you can get $600 to go. So this program will allow you to fill in the gap if you would like to purchase a home. Various cities and counties have specific programs that will allow you to have money. As an example, Chicago, the Cook County area has a $15,000 grant right now called City Lift. And if you qualify for that loan, you got 60 days to put up to $15K in your, I guess, on the credit, on your HUD, in order for you to purchase a home. I have 2 clients right now going through this program. There's programs like Micro Market Recovery Program that's pretty Chicago specific, and there's 13 communities. And this program will allow you to have up to $15,000. I've done this program once, and an individual who used this program bought a house, and he ended up with a payment of about $400 a month at the end of the day. Way less than he expected. So I'm saying this to say there are many programs available that will allow you to get in your home. So don't let the fact that you don't have enough money save some money. But if you don't have enough, there are programs available to fill in the gap. There's neighborhood stabilization program that is in various counties, which will allow you to, again, have money that will allow you to purchase a house, because the goal it is not made for investors. Foreclosure. So first home.
I'll tell you what's happening with the market shifting now to become a buyer's market. The closing cost credits are more valuable than ever, especially if you're listing at $250. I've done these hundreds, if not thousands of times. Selling a home for $250, you agree to buy it at $240. You're much better off buying it for $250 and getting a $10,000 to cover all applicable closing costs, attorney's fees, prepaids, title, everything. If you have any money left over, you could do one of two things. You could buy the rate down, or you could spend $400 to $500 for a home warranty.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to see how to suck up everything, every single nickel of a closing cost credit, you come to Team Hochberg, and I will suck up every. It'll be like a piece of bread going into a bowl of gravy. I will suck every freaking nickel up that you've got. But a lot of people don't realize that you could use that. And why is that important? Because it keeps the integrity of the home at the 250 on the MLS. And yes, it says closing cost credits. Yes, it does, but it's still sold at 250.
Yeah.
And that is good for the marketplace. It's good. Forget about the marketplace. It's great for the borrower. Because the borrower has a home that they got into with a ton of money that they financed, and they're basically financing their closing costs. And I've done thousands of these. Okay, there's nobody better than this than me, because I've done them. Okay, and then if you really want to get creative, you could use that money to fund buy downs, 2-1 buy downs as well. So there's a lot. People want to reach you. Exactly. People want to reach you. How do they reach you?
They can reach us at 773-904-0408. 773-904-0408.
And Facebook Live is up and running finally, so I apologize for the first 15 minutes. Everybody wave over to Roy. Hang on, Roy. Got to blow it up. Okay, 312-591-8900. Going to be talking about our new show, Saturdays 1 to 2. Coming after the break, I'm going to need your help. I'm looking for the name of the show. We're going to be talking about the shows. We're going to get to Gary Novell. 312-900, 312-590. Go to WLSDavid.com. Click the
well above average all the way through the middle part of the upcoming work week. Mostly sunny skies here today. Low to mid-80s this afternoon. Fair to partly cloudy skies tonight, mid-60s. Mix of clouds and sun and warm again tomorrow, mid-80s. Sunny and upper 80s Monday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone. WLSAM 890 with another update in 30 minutes.
Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. I'm Christopher Cruz. More than 950,000 customers are without power in the Carolinas. It could be a while before power crews can get back to work.
It depends on where you are in one of these bands. These bands are still making winds of 55 miles per hour, at least especially gusts. Closer to the eye or the center now that's on land, it's a little bit less. But every time you get a batch of rain coming off the ocean, that wind's going to pick up.
David Cotton is the manager of Onslow County, North Carolina.
There are approximately 40 folks in the queue waiting to be rescued.
100 people are waiting to be rescued in New Bern, North Carolina. Florence will likely be downgraded to a tropical depression before the end of the day, but that won't stop the rain. The region can expect at least 2 more days of heavy rainfall. Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. I'm Christopher Cruz.
No delays on the Edens right now with the spur, getting tight in both directions. Construction there on the Kennedy. Expect about 29 from O'Hare to downtown, 34. You're heading back out to the airport. The Eisenhower is 43 from 390 on in, 29 back. Stevenson is 38 from 355 to the drive, 34 to 355. 55 is okay. The Dan Ryan, 18 in, 15 back out. 57 to Bishop Ford, both looking good. Lakeshore Drive slowing southbound from Fullerton to Monroe to the construction area, northbound from Roosevelt to Jackson, and again from Monroe to Chicago. On the tollways, Tri-State is heavy southbound 75th to the Mile Long Bridge, and the Reagan is slowing eastbound from Route 83 to the York Toll Plaza, while the Veterans is heavy northbound from Fountain to 63rd Street. From the WLS AM 890 Traffic Center, I'm Desire with the next update in 30 minutes.
Other people refuse to come out and they say they're going to do their job, and then you wonder if they're really going to do it because they're asking for money up front. That's not right, especially when I listen to Joe. He says if any company is asking for money up front, you don't really want to deal with them.
We are talking today with mega customer John D. Corina of Elmhurst.
With Mevo, they come out, they do the job, and then a couple of days later they'll call you, make sure you're happy with the job. If you are, and then you make the payment. That's a big difference. They're not standing there with their hands out. It's my check, where's my check? Like that doesn't happen with Mevo. They give you the respect to look at the job. If you like it, then you pay it.
One mega call does it all.
847-658-8989. 847-658-8989.
Megapros.com. One mega call does it all.
Listen at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. for your slice of 4K a day. That's $1,000 4 times each weekday on WLS AM 890.
It usually says coming back. If you're looking for a mortgage, give us a call. 312-591-8900. 312-591. No, don't call WLS. Call 312-751-1333. Usually says, but I don't like the voice, so we're not going to play it. 8900. Baseball season's almost over, so if you want to take advantage of the double play sale, you better get on it, because how many home games are left, Cub Boy?
Oh, home games? I think we have probably 10.
And how long have you been a season ticket holder?
24 years.
And how many games did you go to last week?
3 games last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We call that the triple play.
He was actually.
I still stay married.
And well, your wife wants you to go. That's why you. Yeah, she'd prefer you to go. She'd prefer there be baseball season 12 months out of the year. Trust me, you'd be a lot. She'd be on the TV because the foul ball came 2 rows in front of you.
Yeah,
I saw you. You didn't move.
I don't move for him.
No, you just sat there because you were drunk. But
that's true too. But how many baseballs can you use? I mean, I've been there 24 years. I got enough.
Mr. Big Shot, I've never. I've never caught a foul ball. How many baseballs can you use? When you buy a new garage door and a garage door opener, you get a pair of Northside baseball tickets while supplies last, absolutely free. Give the Garage Door Group a call now, 833-693-6677, 833-693-6677. The Garage Door Group is one company with 4 locations serving the entire Chicagoland area. Award-winning service, great products, professionally installed professionally by experienced garage door technicians, all at a fair price, and you get 2 baseball tickets on the Northside team. Absolutely free while supplies last. You only have 10 games left. Is that something like that? Give them a call, 833-693-6677. Special shout out to Corey Ambrose at JC Restoration, listening online right now in South Carolina under Hurricane Florence. They're in a holding pattern. Wow. Yep, they're in a holding pattern. Wow. So when you guys have been to the facility, right? Yeah. They got the semis. They roll the semis and they park them about 50 to 100 miles outside. And when the storm blows through, to go in, they've got semis loaded with material and crews down there. They did it down in Houston.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Cool. So thank you to Corey and the group out there. So
good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. We got Gary Novell coming up, but before, here's the show. Saturdays 1 to 2, we are doing a show on AM 560.
The Answer.
The Answer. I already checked it with my team here at WLS, and they were 100% behind it. So everything's good. It's going to be experience what I'm targeting. I need help with the name of the show. We're going to be bringing professionals on to talk to the listeners and educate the listeners about topics that have to do with experienced homeowners, such as reverse mortgage, such as redoing a home to make it ADA accessible, like you did with the lady whose husband was a paraplegic. We're going to be talking about quality of life and air systems with Permaseal. We're going to get you in there, and basement flood defender to protect people when they're out down in Florida for sabbatical and all that stuff. We're going to be bringing doctors on. My Dr. Michael McGuire is going to be a guest talking about prostate cancer and all that stuff. And we're going to be talking about topics that relate to, now pay attention to this, folks. When you become your parent's parent, and the services that are out there to help you become your parent's parent. And you know exactly what I mean. If you have an older parent, you've got in-house care, you've got transportation issues. We're going to be talking about all of that. So starting, I believe it's December, the first Saturday in December. Very excited. I used to hold that spot before we moved over here. We're going back to that same spot. It used to be 1 to 3, but we're just doing 1 to 2. It's going to be a pre-recorded show. So we're not going to have any call-ins. It's going to be a complete educational, informational show. And I hope all of you will join us after this show. You turn us on. 60, The Answer, WIND. It's where the show was before.
So, you know, Judy, my wife, has been listening to us for 3 years, I hope, but all morning long, she's trying to listen to us on WGN, and she's yelling at me via text that our radio show's not on. It's John Williams.
Why aren't you on the John Williams show on W? John Williams is at the United Center for the Blackhawks thing.
So I just told her, I said, you're brilliant. We've been on WLS forever. I know that. what the hell happened?
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, Judy, it's 10 o'clock someplace, but maybe you should slow down a little bit. 312-591. We're trying to get Gary. We keep losing Gary. I'm going to go out to Carrie here. Carrie, you got a question about getting a mortgage. How can we help you?
Yeah, I was told that you have to have a full-time job for 2 years to get a mortgage.
Whoever told you that's a moron.
Really? I would have told him that.
No.
Okay.
You need a full-time job. You need a full-time job for 2 years to get a mortgage.
How long?
Did you have a job prior to?
The 2 part-time jobs.
Right, 2 part-time jobs. I mean, you got to give me a little more. You got to give me a little more information. What's your situation here, Carrie?
2 part-time jobs.
Okay.
One of them is seasonal.
Okay.
So,
have you been doing the seasonal job for more than 2 years?
yes.
Okay, so how long have you been doing the seasonal job is a proper question.
2 years.
2 years. Okay, so you have a history of being another part-time job.
Just on Saturdays. So.
Just on Saturdays. How long have you been working just on Saturdays at that other part-time job?
3 years.
3 years. So you have a basic track record, and your employer will say that Carrie is a great employee, a great employee, and will have employment next season when the season starts, whatever the season is, and that your employer that you work for on a Saturday will say Gary's a great employee, and he's guaranteed a job on Saturdays as long as he could get here and we're still in business. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you could show a track record of employment and income over that 2 year period of time, right?
Yes.
We could count that income. Would you like our help getting a mortgage based upon that situation?
Oh, you're saying he doesn't have to be at one place for 2 years.
No,
it has to be trackable income.
He has to show a pattern at that job. So here, vendors at Wrigley Field, okay, or at the Cell, all right, or GR, whatever you want to call it, okay. They're seasonal, okay. Some of them go to the UC and work Bulls and Hawks games.
Oh, I see.
Some of them are just vendors during the summer, okay. Some of them are getting up in age and don't want to work, schlep up and down. They just want to work, 4 or 5 months. Some people work holiday time at big, okay, or go to UPS and sign on, from Thanksgiving and seasonal. You could show track your income for at least 2 years, and HR will say that you're invited back, and you report that income. We could count it.
It sounds like that might have been confusion. The 2 years. You're saying they tracked their income for 2 years.
Yeah,
he was told you had to have the same job for 2 years, but that's not right.
That's not right.
2 years is.
You need to show a track record, especially for part-time continued employment going forward.
For 2 years.
Okay, if you're a salaried employee, so Carrie, if you went to the opening that worked year-round, right, and you took that job and they were going to put you on salary, we could hire you. I could secure a loan for you right then and there before you get your first paycheck, because there are loans out there that will allow us to start the program and get a letter from the employer to say, yes, you're going to be making this. And there's other lenders that require you to get at least one pay stub.
So he might have been unemployed for the last 2 years, but now he's got a job and a promise of future employment, and you can get him a mortgage then?
We could get him a mortgage.
Wow.
Right.
That's huge.
Right, because you have to show what he was doing the 2 years prior, right? If he was at home, and it's got to make sense, right? And if it's a salary job, you could count it right away. Yes. Would you like help getting a mortgage, Carrie?
Well, we went and looked at a house, and then it fell through because we were told that you have to be full-time employed for 2 years. So now we're out looking again.
All right. Well,
could be free.
No, I'm telling.
We believe you must get we must get approved or pre-approval before you go out, because it's very disappointing to the buyer.
Waste of time.
And to the realtor.
And to the seller. To the seller.
I mean, unless you have a lender who says, I will fund that person.
Quite honestly, that's what he was
told. You're
going
to get disappointed.
No, you got pre-approved, right? Carrie?
What's the question?
Did you get pre-approved for a mortgage?
No.
Or did you try to?
No, he just went out and started looking for homes.
So This was like a year ago. So at that point, I didn't have 2 years of history at that point.
Okay. But you have it now. Who you were working with gave you bad information. So I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to get you over to Kevin Kochman, who's answering the phones right now, and we'll help you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling.
Man, that was so easy for Gary,
312-591-8900.
wasn't it?
What's
Like
that?
You just made his whole life.
Does he?
I know.
How many?
You're
how
like
many?
that. You're like a dream come true for so many people.
I told you last week I was a very
Work it.
I was a diggable
Work it,
person.
Dave.
You're a what?
Diggable. I'm very diggable.
Diggable.
D-I-G-G. There's two G's. A-B-L-E,
Diggable?
not Y. Because that would be diggably. And that would not be. That's
He's
not
taking
proper
us back
English.
to the 70s.
312-591.
Can you dig it, baby?
I'm bringing you back to last Monday. All right, 312-591-8900. Gary Novell, are you there?
I'm here, David.
And are you diggable?
Are you diggable?
Diggable. I'm very diggable.
Sorry, buddy. We kept dropping you there. I apologize. Brought you up, and I don't know what's going on. So your topic is, this is Gary Novell, everybody, the wonderful, the best in the business, credit enhancement expert.
Yeah.
Where was I? I was with.
Hard to say.
No, I don't remember. No, we were talking about doing a Pearl outreach program, right? Because Pearl went through a CFPB audit, and I was interviewed, right? So I was interviewed in front of a group of people, right? There were
I don't know CFPB.
Consumer Finance Protection Bureau.
Okay.
So there was somebody from the African American community, there were two gentlemen from the Hispanic community, and there was this whiter than white guy from Kansas City. Okay, so you couldn't get any more diverse than this, and they started everything else. So they're like, well, where do you advertise? Well, I advertise, let's see, AM 560, The Score, ESPN, WLS, WGN. I go through all of them, right? It's all 7 stations. And I said, hey, we started advertising on La Que Buena because the Hispanic community is gigantic, and we have 2 gentlemen who speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but 2 gentlemen speak Spanish, so we're targeting to try to, not targeting Spanish. We're bad word.
You're expanding the audience.
We're
You
expanding
accept
our
that
audience. Right. So the African American lady looks at me. She goes, "Well, what about urban radio?" I go, "What about urban radio?" I go, African American people listen to AM 560, WLS, ESPN, The Score, WGN. I go, it's called the radio signal, right? It goes out, and I can't help who's what radio is turned on and what color of the skin of the person is listening, and if they stand or if they sit when they urinate. I can't control that. Okay, so we kind of got our hands slapped because we're not doing enough outreach. So this is my outreach, right, to the underserviced areas that we're not reaching, even though we spend close to $1 million in radio advertising. Is if you would like us to come, no matter what color skin you have. How about that? To your organization, to educate your educate your parishioners, educate your employees, educate your students on the values of enhancing credit and home ownership. The Pearl Outreach Team, POT, yes, I came up with that, will help you. It's my
team.
The Pearl Outreach Team. They're like, we need a name. I'm like, Pearl Outreach Team. They're like, that spells pot. I'm like, exactly. People remember that. You just give us a call, 312-751-1333, and the pot team will go out there. The Pearl Outreach Team.
It would be,
yeah, okay.
Outreach team.
Okay, the port team. Okay, we'll break outreach into 2 words. Okay, I see where you're going. That's why you didn't graduate high school. That's okay, but it doesn't matter.
I just didn't want you to have it stuck with
It's a port. Okay, it's the port. Pearl Outreach Team. So Gary's got a situation here that people stop making credit card payments in the middle of a refinance. And what does that do to somebody's credit, Mr. Novell?
David, I see this a lot, and I'm sure you've seen it a lot over the years where, lenders, when you pull a report prior to closing, you're going to see a late payment or 2 show up on a credit card or something within the last couple months, which drops their scores, which now the lender cannot do the report. It totally blows up the deal. I got a call from somebody this week in a panic saying that because of these late payments, that the loan can't close. It's supposed to close next week, and I need to get these off my report. I wish it were that easy. As good as I am at this, getting recent late off of reports can take time, especially if you're really 30 days late with the payment. Now, this person had scores over 700, missed a payment in June on one account, missed one in July in another one, which dropped the scores below 640. It's unbelievable how many panic calls I get like this. Another common situation I see is when you're refinancing a mortgage and you don't make the payment on the prior mortgage, thinking that the new loan is going to take care of that payment. Well, no. There has to be a payment made on the old loan within 30 days of the due date. And last-minute problem, this may not seem like a big deal, but one missed payment can drop your score 60 points or more, and the lender will not be able to do your loan because of this. Now, on another issue, if you know anybody going through the hurricane problems down south and had to evacuate due to the problem, remind them to call all of their creditors as soon as they can, explain the situation so late payments don't start showing up on mortgages, credit cards, installment loans, etc. on your credit report. As funny as it seems, whenever you try to get back on your feet after a natural disaster, you're going to need your credit. And the last thing you want to have is credit problems when that happens. And banks will work with you until you're back on your feet. You just have to keep them apprised of your specific situation. For any question on this topic or about your credit, never hesitate to pick the phone up and call me, 630-624-9557. Can't help you if you don't call. The number again is 630-624-9557. How many times have you seen that problem, David, with late payments when you pull a report prior to closing?
I was just gonna say that we send out weekly updates, and on the top of the weekly update it says continue to make your mortgage payment, continue to make your credit card payments.
Yeah.
I
don't understand why people think they stop making the payments just because they're refinanced or they're getting a new loan. I don't understand where the thinking is.
I don't know.
But
it must be they're so relieved that their problems are solved. They just relax.
Yeah, they think,
okay,
oh,
that problem's solved. Checked it off the list.
I've got a loan in process. All my problems. Well, you got to close the damn. It's like buying the home, Des, and then they go to the furniture store and blow their brains out and buy $50,000 or $20,000 worth of furniture. Guess what? New inquiry. Open up the credit card for 0% financing for 12 months. $40,000 credit card, a 4% minimum payment, $1,600 minimum payment. Boop, there goes your debt to income ratio. Loan gets canceled. Credit score comes down 40, 50 points because you put all that debt there. Full of furniture with no home to put it into. Nice job. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Gary, your phone number one more time.
630-624-9557 for any questions.
Best in the business, everybody. 630-624-9557. $350 for singles, $500 for couples. You use Gary.
$350 for one, $600 for couples.
All right, that's what I meant to say. $350 for one, $600 for couple.
It's
you go
still
to Gary.
too low.
It's way too low. He enhances your credit. We give you the credit back when we do your mortgage. Thanks for calling. 312-591-8900. WLSDavid.com.
Susan, why are you in the spa?
Just saving energy.
ComEd is helping me save energy too. With a free home energy assessment, discounts on energy efficient products, they even have rebates on insulation.
I know all that.
And
customers have saved an average of $500 on their energy bills.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Saving energy is great.
See how the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help you save at ComEd.com/home savings. ComEd, powering lives. Funded in compliance with state law.
Saturday afternoons at 3. Stephanie Trussell Show on WLS AM 890.
That's the wrong song. Okay, turn the lights on. 312. Okay, so, all right, so we did Grease. You got Thrills, they're multiplying, that one. And I want to thank everybody for singing. And there's a video of me. You're laughing.
I want to see the video.
You go to Team Hochberg. Aaron Cooper taped it this Thursday. I created song sheets for everybody. And I'm there singing. Unbeknownst to me, there's a lot of ladies there. And I'm a ladies man. And there's ladies there. And there was another guy, Brian. Just me and Brian were the two guys into it. You don't believe me. And then she started taking her shirt, jog bra on, and I completely missed it. It's like a minute video. You got to watch it. And I just want to say, Tom, you're a very lucky man. Okay, that's all I have to say. Because I'm on my bike.
What were you singing?
You got Thrills, they're multiplying. There you go. There you go, Jeff. Turn it up. Okay, so this is going, right? We're rolling. And I got my song. They're multiplying. Come on, Lord. It looked fine. So I was rocking out. I wasn't paying attention to women stripping at 5:30 in the morning. So I want to thank Aaron Cooper for the video, because now they're taping it and putting it on Facebook. Because I am a Facebook sensation, naturally.
I actually think that's worth checking out.
Oh, you've got Team Hochberg, Aaron Cooper's video. It's about 1 minute, 10 seconds. Okay. And you can see Allison Moran taking her shirt off.
I'm going to check it. I don't have anything else to do.
So I want to thank that. And so this week,
right now.
so this week, Carrie Walnut Herbst is supposedly can't sing. So I'm calling out Lumpy, her husband, to get his ass out of bed to come to spin. And here's the song this Thursday at 5:25. Go ahead, Chops. Everybody's waiting to hear the song. I said at 10:45 we're going to be playing next week's song, so you have to tune in. It's kind of like a little tease. Go ahead there, Chops. Don't go broke.
What did you sing that
WLSDavid.com. I want to thank Carrie Walnuts Herbst for listening. Lumpy, listen, he's a realtor. What are you doing at like 5 o'clock in the morning if you're a realtor?
Getting ready to go out and show houses.
Right. Wouldn't it be better if like you got off your ass and get out of bed and do a little exercise? I've seen pictures of the guy. I never met him. He looks a little exercise. 312-591.
Call in and get you.
Well, yeah. Lumpy is Walnut's husband. It's a whole thing, and it's Allison. It's Allison Mason. If I screwed up her last name, I apologize. I said Moran. It's Allison Mason. It was Tom, husband, who was stripping, not Moran. It was Allison Mason, our stripper. 312-591-8900. 312-591-8900. Mr. Floor for over 30 years. Mr. Floor has provided Chicagoland homeowners and businesses with complete flooring solutions, including our proprietary line of cleaning products, the finest hardwood flooring installation, refinishing, and repair. Over 20,000 satisfied customers reflect their consistency, commitment to service, and value. Carrying one of the largest exclusive selections of hardwood flooring in Chicagoland, they guarantee the highest level of quality, highest level of selection, and the highest level of service available in the flooring industry, from hundreds of engineered and solid, pre-finished, and unfinished wood flooring options to natural stone, ceramic, carpeting, and decorative polymer flooring. The possibilities are absolutely endless. Give Mr. Floor a call. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. We're going to shift that call from Carrie, kind of pushed us back. So we're going to do Roy at 11, talking about Basement Defender, the employment opportunity you are having. File tax returns on at 11:30. Mega Pro Joe, I created a checklist of why it's important.
Yeah, but I'm getting closer and closer to getting bumped again.
You're not getting bumped. You're not getting bumped. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com, WLSDavid.com. So Steve and I were talking on the way down, and you guys could all relate to this. Online, everything seems to be the craze, right? My wife, we were driving home from the Maroon 5 concert, and she heard a rumor that they're knocking down Northbrook Court, which is by our home, and doing something like Randhurst did. Randhurst knocked down Randhurst and completely phenomenal, right? So I'm like, well, I hadn't heard that. And she's like, why were all these big box things going on? I'm like, you're putting them out of business. Like Miss Amazon over here. I mean, I don't know what's going on with your relationship with the UPS guy, but he's like stopping in. I put one of those ring things up to make sure he's just dropping the boxes off. He's not dropping anything else off. If you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. So, I mean, I'm like, you put all these people out of business because you're going online and shopping. So now they've got to reconstitute all of this space and figure out what the hell they're doing. So that's what's going on. So I want to talk about that online everything right now. BMO Harris, you're going to talk to a call center instead of a mortgage professional face-to-face with 15, 20 years experience like my friend Larry had. He still has. He's coming back, hopefully. 312-591-8900. Just exhausting. 312-591-8900. WLSDavid.com. WLSDavid.com. We're going to pay some bills. Be right back. Thanks, John.
Four times each weekday. Monday morning at 8 a.m.
WLS, where you hear Chris Plant weekday mornings 9 till rush at 11.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again today. Mostly sunny skies, a light northeast breeze. Temperatures again here this afternoon, close to 10 degrees above average. Partly cloudy skies tonight, mid-60s. Partly cloudy, mid-80s Sunday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone. WLSAM 890 with another update in 30 minutes.
Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. I'm Christopher Cruz. The monster storm is now virtually stalled over the Carolinas. It could drop a total of more than 3 feet of rain in some areas before it moves north. More than 964,000 customers are now without power in the Carolinas. And meteorologist Chad Myers says it could be a while before power crews can get to work.
It depends on where you are in one of these bands. These bands are still making winds of 55 miles per hour, at least especially gusts. Closer to the eye or the center now that's on land, it's a little bit less. But every time you get a coming off the ocean that we...
David Cotton is the manager of Onslow County, North Carolina.
There are approximately 40 folks in rescued.
Florence will likely to a tropical depression before the end of the day, but that won't stop the rain. Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. I'm Christopher Cruz. Demonstrators took to the streets in Dallas yesterday to protest the shooting of an unarmed black man in his own apartment. A police officer killed the man. Correspondent Ryan Young reports both M. Jean's family is angry with how police are handling the investigation.
The John family's attorney and the family are now upset by the leak of a search warrant that indicates officers' drugs. Officers say they did find and remove several items, including a small amount of marijuana. The warrant does not indicate who the items belong to.
The white police officer has been charged. The gas company involved in Thursday's string of explosions in Boston's northern suburbs plans to shut off gas to all of its customers in the Merrimack Valley by tomorrow. One person died, 25 others were injured during explosions and fires at almost 100 structures in Andover, North Andover, and Lawrence. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Two fast-moving wildfires burning in Utah have now become the top wildfire priority in the nation.
Hundreds of homes have been evacuated from the paths of the Pole Creek and the Bald Mountain fires, quickly combining and quickly moving. Utah Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox, talking with evacuees at a local high school, said the good news about being the #1 wildfire priority in the nation is that resources are being sent to help.
The bad news is this is a tough one, that we have to make sure and set our expectations correctly. The weather forecast for the next couple of days is pretty brutal for a fire like this.
It's hot and dry, and the winds also help drive the flames over the drought-stricken terrain. Both fires are believed to have been caused. I'm Jim Roop.
Top story of the hour, Tropical Storm Florence continues to maul the Carolinas, moving at just 2 miles an hour and dropping so much rain that catastrophic flooding is expected over the next few days. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Queens is okay. Spur, though, a little slow in both directions right now. In Kennedy, you're looking at 45 from O'Hare to downtown. Give yourself 28 back out to the airport. On the Eisenhower, that's 41 from 390 to the Circle, 29 going the other way. Stevenson's 39 from 355 from Lakeshore Drive, 34 to 355. Dan Ryan is 18 in, 15 going back out, 57 to Bishop Ford Drive, getting heavy now. Southbound Fullerton to Monroe. Northbound from Roosevelt to Jackson, again from Monroe to Chicago. The Tri-State Tollway, you're slowing southbound 75th to the mile-long bridge. On the Reagan, you're getting heavy now eastbound Route 83 to the York Toll Plaza, and the Veterans Memorial still slow northbound Mountain Toll Plaza to 63rd Street. From the WLS AM 890 Traffic Center, I'm Ken Zier with the next update in 30 minutes.
This hour is brought to you in part by Home Sweet Home Chicago, airing Saturdays at 10 a.m.
I promise by next week he'll be gone and somebody else will be there. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. That's the call and text line. Thank you, 219. You're a very sick man for sending that text. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com, WLSDavid.com. We're here to entertain and enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be nice. We're talking housing. We're talking credit. We're having a new show starting December 1st, looking for guests, looking for people within that space that want to help experienced homeowners and that want to come on the show to educate our listeners as to how you could help become a better parent to your parent and how to become a better experienced homeowner to live your life in a more enjoyable, comfortable way. 312-591-8900. WLS David, our Facebook is screwed up again, so I apologize for the lost connection.
So your video of you singing is not on your website?
I don't know why. If you go to, I'll share it to David Hochberg.
Right.
You go to Facebook.
I bet you people are dying to see this.
I'm trying. I thought, for some reason it was there. And so if you want to check out Allison Mason singing and dancing, she's phenomenal. Thursday at 5 o'clock. Stephen A. Leahy, if people want to reach you, how do they reach you?
312-664-6649. I help people solve IRS problems.
One more time, phone number?
312-664-6649.
MegaPros Joe, MegaPros Home Improvements.
847-658-8989.
Desi White. Desi Smith. With the white hair. I look over. I'm used to seeing.
Is that why you keep calling me Desi White?
Yeah,
because of my hair?
No, he's not Desi. That's why he's in trouble for
It should be
things.
Desi Silver. Thank you. It should be white hair. Desi Smith of what's
Ideal Real Estate.
And
773-904-0408. 773-904-0408, where we find you the ideal home.
And Roy Spencer from Permaseal, a company that's been around for almost 40 years, helped over 300,000 people. Roy, if people want to reach you, how do they reach you?
800-421-7325.
And I am David Hochberg. If you want to reach me, 312-751-1333, 312-751-1333. Go to WLSDavid.com. It says right here from the 219 texter. You could also text in some thoughts. 312-591-8900 is the phone and text line. Sorry, I can't make it to work tomorrow because I broke my reproductive parts in spin class. And he has a picture. So, yeah, very, very, very interesting. This guy is just not right with the 219 telephone number. Well, it's fine. We're all encompassing. Right?
You can go to work without your reproductive parts.
Right. We're back online, by the way. You can go to Facebook Live. I don't know what's going on. You can?
Sure. All right. No. Well, I guess it depends on what your job is, but
exactly. 312-591-8900. 312-591-8900. Let's throw it over to Roy Spencer. You're having let's talk about the Basement Defender, what it is, and also the job fair you're having coming up. What is a Basement Defender?
Well, let me start off with an example. Steve, do you have a basement?
I do.
And do you have a sump pump?
I do. Two.
And are they working?
I hope so.
You hope so. You don't know if they're working.
I don't know.
A lot of people, I ask those questions, and if they have a sump pump, which most people do, I ask them if they know if it's working, and they either say, I don't know, or they say, oh, yeah. I go, well, how do you know it's working? Well, it worked last time. And so the point is, none of us know. I didn't check my sump pump this morning, and nobody does. Everybody's got things to do, and the last thing that they're going to do is probably check their sump pump. If they ever do it, they might do it before a storm or something, but most people never check their sump pumps and things. And they just assume it's working because it worked last time. Well, the problem is that when we had this last big storm, we had, hundreds of calls of people whose basements flooded and had a lot of damage and very traumatic thing they went through. And they also thought their sump pumps were working because they worked last time. So Joe, how many sump pumps fail?
All of them.
All of them, attaboy. So we know that. We just don't know when they're going to fail. And then they fail. They don't always fail in the middle of the storm. They might have failed last week. The event happens. So we know all this. I've been doing this for 40 years now. And we know that's one of the biggest problems is with basements flooding is the sump pumps, related to sump pump. And so we actually have designed a new product. It's our own invention. It's called the Basement Defender. And what it does, it actually tests your sump pump every day, Steve. Every day. It will run at 8 o'clock. You're going to hear your pump running just momentarily just to test it. And in fact, it'll run not only your primary pump, it'll run your backup pump. And it'll read the voltage and make sure that everything's working. We just had an incident this week where our technician had a Basement Defender installed and he was testing it. And the backup pump was working, but it wasn't putting out the right voltage. So it wasn't being charged properly. So there was actually a problem with the charger. So not only found out that, if we just tested the pumps, they were working, but the charger wasn't, which means the backup pump wouldn't have worked effectively when he needed it and things like that. So that's some of the features of the Basement Defender. It's the only thing out there, the only device out there anywhere in the world that will actually test your pump every day, and then you have an app on your phone, and it'll tell you if there's any problem. If there's no problem, you won't hear from it. But if there is a problem with your pump, your primary pump, your battery, your backup charger, it will notify you. It also constantly, every day, monitors the humidity level in your basement and the temperature of your basement. And why is that important? Because mold is in your basement right now. It's just not active unless the humidity gets over 60%. At that point, mold just takes off, and it gets very unhealthy and comes upstairs and causes all kinds of problems, and this is the mold season. So every day it will tell you what the humidity level in your basement, and so you can deal with it, because most people don't know what but Joe, I bet you don't even know the humidity level in your basement.
Of course I do.
What is it?
Now you will. Once we get the Defender.
Joe is in his basement, or when Joe is not in his basement?
I would say 7.
I think I love this kind of stuff because technology. We have all this stuff, and using this new technology for your own business and finding ways to improve people's lives.
Well, it just made sense because I'm totally aware of the problem. People don't check their pumps, and these pumps fail, and that's why. So I'm totally aware of the problem. And finally, I go, oh wait. I was talking to an engineer at a cocktail party 4 years ago, and I was telling him the challenge. I said, we got to I have to test pumps every day. How do I get to do that? He said, I can do that. And so he designed the system for us.
Awesome.
So that's how it all came
That's
about.
awesome.
I'm thinking that's a great selling feature.
It is,
Yeah.
you know, and because it's the peace of mind that you now, because everybody's got a lot of stuff in their basement, you know, it's finished or not. You got a lot of stuff you don't want to lose, and who wants to live that way with that uncertainty, that sort of Damocles hanging over you every time there's a storm? Because you might be on vacation, you might be, you know, not even around, and you wonder what the weather is back in Downers Grove or Glencoe or wherever back home while you're on vacation. Well, now you will know that your pumps are working, so you don't worry about it if there's a big storm. The other thing I was talking about the temperature and why is that important? Because you're taking a winter vacation and the pipes freeze back at home, you know, because the furnace fails, you don't know about it, and you come home, and that happened to me. We came home from Hawaii one year and it was just a mess because the pipes had burst and nobody knew about it till we got home. So now if the temperature gets too low, you also get a temperature alert. So it's all about basement defender. Honestly, you don't know if your sump pump's at a crawl space and it's to test your pump. You don't have to every day basement. Thank you, David.
No problem. You also have that job fair. What's going on with the job fair?
Oh, yeah. Well, like I say, we're extremely busy, have been, and we just need help. We need help in virtually every department in our company, installers, office people, customer care people, but also sales people. We need people who can go out and do estimates and engineer systems. Not a lot of people out in your audience, Dave, are qualified to be salespeople for. That's okay. We don't need that. What we need are people who have a great work ethic, have a great ambition, who have a sales aptitude, who like to help people. We will train you. We will make you an expert in basement waterproofing and foundation repair. We will give you all the training you need. You just need to bring those other attributes to the job. So we need several people. So we're having an open house this Monday, 6 o'clock in our office in Downers Grove, 513 Rogers Street in Downers Grove. And it's it's just an informational session. You're welcome to come and just check out the opportunity. And it's an incredible opportunity because most salespeople spend their time prospecting. Our salespeople spend their time inspecting and helping people. And so we provide you the leads, which we have more than we can handle. And we provide you the training, and the income potential is virtually unlimited. So it's a tremendous sales job. If I didn't own the company, I'd want to sell for permanent.
And how long have you been in business?
39 years.
How many layoffs in the 39 years?
That was zero.
When is that? Monday?
Monday, 6 o'clock, Joe. I'll put you down.
PM?
Yep. Where they get information? Where? Permaseal.net/ during the last 45 minutes of the show?
Yeah. Okay. I really encourage you, even if you think you got a good gig, but you're like, frustrated, you're income limit or something, check us out because it's a great sales job.
He needs help. Everybody needs help. 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com.
Listen for the national keyword, then text it to 95819. $18, $4K a day. Sponsored locally by Licensed Heating and Air Conditioning on WLS AM. For rules and info, go to WLSAM.com. Stephanie Trussell is heard here Saturdays from 3 till 6 p.m. on WLS AM 890.
Here we go. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com. Home Sweet Home Chicago, officially powered by the fine people at ComEd. Go to ComEd.com to learn all about the opportunities that you can save money retrofitting your house with energy efficiency products like light bulbs. And they'll put the light bulbs in your house absolutely free.
You know, I never did it yet.
I did it about 4 years ago.
Not yet.
All right, so you're just as bad as me.
I know I am. You did about 4 years ago.
But the point is that people can get it done right away.
Yes.
Change your shower head.
Change your shower head, put in new lights, save people hundreds of dollars. After I get my Permaseal basement done, we're going to do the lights. That's next.
Well, they're still at your house?
No, I think they're coming next week or 2 weeks.
They're always at your house.
I know.
So every
I've got
week-
somebody. I've got a room
You're
in my
like a-
basement.
You're living live read.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a room in my basement that John Hughes. What's his name?
Mike Tiggs.
Mike Tiggs.
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
Mike Tiggs is our official Home Sweet Home Chicago.
He's fantastic, really.
Really good. Inspector, and he prices jobs for our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
We have one guy that Roy gave us, Mike Tiggs. Phenomenal. He also does commercial. My in-laws had a challenge at their business, and he went out to their business. He Permissive couldn't help, but he gave recommendations and suggestions on how to fix it. So it's something you should do. ComEd as well. They do commercial space as well as residential. So go to ComEd.com or just go to WLSDavid.com. Garage Door Group, talking about saving money. They have that F factor or R factor? It's the R factor. What the hell was Will telling? I said F and it was R.
Our rating?
Our rating, right. It was the R.
It's a resistance rating.
Right. It was the heat resistance. So if you want to put an if you want to install an insulated garage door, say that 10 times fast, you should buy a garage door from the Garage Door Group. When you do, you get a pair of Northside baseball tickets. Double play sale while supplies last. Give those guys a call. Garage Door Group, 833-693-6677. The Garage Door Group is one company with 4 locations serving the entire Chicagoland area. Award-winning service, great products. Installed professionally by experienced garage door technicians, all at a fair price, and you get 2 Northside baseball tickets absolutely free as a bonus when you buy a garage door and a garage door opener from the Garage Door Group. One more time, 833-693-6677. We're going to be throwing over to Stephen A. Leahy, tax return, Stephen.
First, I want to say I love that Northside baseball team.
I know you do.
So
you have a tattoo?
I just want to mention.
You have a tattoo?
Not where I can
You don't
show
love them that
You
much?
love anything else or just that?
Well, pretty much. I like the Blackhawks.
Blackhawks are good.
I'm a big Bear fan. But baseball's But anyway, I want to...
Taxes.
I also am passionate about taxes. Okay, so anyway, what I wanted to talk about is the deadlines coming up because September 17th is the deadline this year for corporate taxes. Usually it's on the 15th, but if the 15th for a Saturday, Sunday, or holiday, then it will go to the next business day. So it's today. This year it's on September 17th. For personal taxes is October 15th. Now I tell people this because I've had a lot of people come to see me and they haven't filed for. If you haven't. For 5 years, I filed an extension every year. Does that count? The answer is no. It doesn't count. It only goes until October 15th. If you don't file it by October 15th, the extension doesn't do you any good. And you mentioned, David, that you had forgot to put a check in, and you forgot, and they hit you with a penalty. Well, I'm going to tell you this:
a reminder fee is what I like to call it.
Well, let me tell you
It's a major reminder.
The IRS has what they call a one-time abatement program. So if I've always paid my taxes on time for the last 3 years, on time, and I make a mistake, there's a one-time abatement. They will abate that penalty, but you have to ask. Okay, so a lot of people don't know, so they don't ask, so they don't get it. Right, so there is, and another thing about extensions is when you file an extension, the extension is to file the tax return, not to pay the tax.
Right.
The tax is due April 15th, and if you don't pay it on April 15th, then you get a failure to pay penalty.
Or a portion thereof if you're doing quarterlies, right? If
That's right.
Okay,
Mhm.
right.
Okay,
Because I sent in a check, so
Oh, you learned your lesson well, didn't
if
you?
it was like whatever, if it was 400, I sent in 800.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I'd rather
Yes.
the IRS owe me money than have to go.
Well, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You will get hit with a penalty unless you pay 90% of that tax, whatever your tax. Because I don't know what I'm going to owe
Right.
until I do the tax return. Well, a lot of people, like most people, get a refund back. So you can overpay, and they'll give you a refund, and then you won't have to worry about a penalty, and that's a big thing. But I really wanted to focus on unfiled tax returns and the people that are out there. Usually, it's people who are working for themselves. They're 1099 employees, and they're supposed to file their tax return and they don't, and then they get into this panic. Sand every year, and they pretend like it, and they're very good at what they do. Most of my clients are very good, so I have doctors, lawyers that are very good at what they do. They just don't like the paperwork thing.
Right.
And that's being a business for yourself is a paperwork thing. That's really what it is. And if you haven't filed your tax return, you should call me at 312-664-6649. If you owe money, we can work out some sort of payment plan with the IRS. There are these programs. Don't be fooled by the pay pennies on the dollar situation, because you hear a lot about that, and that's good for some people. But if you're running your own business and it's profitable, that probably won't work for you. But you still could come up with some sort of payment plan with the IRS that you can live with. And that's the important part. So first you have to get in compliance, get them all filed. So you have to file all your back tax returns, and then you can work out a payment plan. If you don't do that, what will happen is the IRS will file a tax return for you. This is called a substitute for return, or an SFR. And that's when the IRS, when they file your tax return for you, they say, this is not a service, it's a penalty. Right? They file it for you at the highest rate.
That's the key, at the highest rate. People don't realize that.
With no deductions.
Right.
Okay, so now all of a sudden it looks like I owe all this money, and actually you do owe all that money. Now you might be able to roll that back, but according to the IRS, they've assessed that tax against you, and when it goes to the collection department, and those are the people that levy your bank account and come after your wages and go after any 1099, they go after your clients, they can go after your insurance proceeds. If I'm a doctor and that's how I get paid through insurance, they just go to my insurance company and say, hey, you know that doctor? Never pay him again, pay us. And then you don't have any income. And this is what, again, this is the SFR. And so you can go back and roll it back, but if you don't file your own tax return, they will do it for you. So don't let that happen either. And you don't even know if that happens. So I could do a free report for you just to find out where you are with the IRS. We'll pull all your transcripts, find out if they filed one for you, find out when's the last time you filed, find out any payments that were made. Anybody's filed a 1099 for you. So if I'm in a business, a lot of vendors, if I'm a vendor for a business, they will send a 1099 to the IRS. So the IRS knows you're making money, and then they'll tax you on that money. So you can call me at 312-664-6649.
And what is with the people that is there a huge penalty if they're getting money back? So if they haven't filed taxes in 4 years, 5 years, and they're getting a refund,
yes,
do they have to pay a penalty for not filing those tax returns?
This is a very good question, and I have a lot of that people have. They have a refund, they just haven't filed it for some time. The answer is a refund a penalty is basically determined by how much money you owe the IRS. So if they owe you, there's not going to be a penalty. Except for, here's the penalty. So if you haven't filed for 4 years and you have a big refund 4 years ago, you ain't getting that money. They ain't paying you. Okay, so people believe, well, it's kind of like money in the bank. I just will file eventually and I'll get that money. And then they find out, what do you mean they're not going to pay me? They have to collect, they can collect from me for 10 years, but they can only give it to me for 3? That's the way it works. Okay.
Government.
So people don't know that, and that's a big thing. But if you owe that, they don't want you to file your tax return if they owe you, because then they don't have to pay it.
We had a guy who came to us for a mortgage. He wanted to buy a house. We're like, great. Pull his credit. Credit's great. Income's great. Like, where's your tax return? We need tax return. He's the commission sales rep. We needed tax. He was the self-employed. We needed tax returns for the last, 1 or 2 years, depending upon, it only came back 1 year. So we're like, hey, we need 1 year's tax return. Haven't filed in the past 4 years. It just happened this week.
But now, Steve, there's a penalty for not filing as well, right?
Not if you don't. Again, the penalty is based on how much you owe. If you don't owe, then there's not going to be a penalty. So you need to file it and get it. And again, you won't pay a penalty. And now here's the difference, though. If it's a corporate return, if you have S corporation and you haven't filed, then there is a money.
12591-8900 is the call and text line. You listen to Home Sweet Home Chicago, officially powered by the fine people at ComEd. If people want to reach you to take advantage of your services, how do they do that?
It's 312-664-6649. And when you call and you want a free report, tell Bonnie you want a free report, and she'll put you through to me, and we'll talk about your situation, and we'll see what we can do to help you.
And Bonnie is your trusted assistant?
She talked to me.
So, Steve, I'm interested in this abatement. You said there's a one-time paid my taxes every year since I.
You want to try it next year?
Like 85%.
So I got a chip. I can
people.
cash in whenever I want. I can take a year off and pay my taxes.
I wouldn't try it.
The abatement is only for the penalty, right? I still have to pay the tax, right? So they're not going to let me go on the tax.
Yeah,
They
but I'm just saying. So if I, whatever reason, I wanted to not pay taxes next year, I just won't pay, and then the next year I'll
try it.
I won't be any penalty.
Let us know
and
how
I'll
that
tell
works
him
out.
Steve. Yeah, I'll tell him Steve says okay.
There won't be. You can ask for the penalty abatement, and generally they have this one time. So if I can prove that for 3 years I've always paid on time, they'll give you this one-time abatement.
I heard the word generally in there, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah, don't
I am an attorney. Okay, so let's say generally, kind of, most of the time.
Yeah, there you go. Weasel words.
Yeah.
Oh, we call it legalese. Okay,
Yeah, okay,
weasel
whatever.
words, legalese.
I agree with Roy. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. It's a question of if you'll need a new roof, but time to repair or replace company that I recommend and that we recommend on the show. It's a family-owned business for for 3 generations. They are honest and fair and will only sell you what they would install on their own home or in their own business. Lindholm Roofing does every type of roofing, gutter, siding, tuck pointing, and Lindholm Roofing will give you a free, that's right, that F word, free, no obligation estimate for any job, big or small. In fact, if they come out and find out that your current roof will last more than a few years before it needs repair or replacement, they're glad of all, and that's what's earned them a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau, which Roy is very fond of. For a free estimate, call Lindholm Roofing now, 888-4-ROOFER. That's 888-476-6327, or go to lindholmroofing.com. It's lindholmroofing.com. We're going to come back after these messages with Mega Pro Joe, Mega Pro Joe's Home Improvement.
Man, I can't wait. That's going to be a great part of the show.
That's going to be the best part of the show. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Hold on.
With high pressure continuing to control our weather, beautiful weather here this weekend. Sunny and unseasonably warm here this afternoon, low to mid-80s. Fair to partly cloudy skies tonight, mid-60s. Partly cloudy mid-80s on Sunday. Sunny and upper 80s Monday. From the I'm meteorologist Ken Boone, WLSAM 890 with another update in 30 minutes.
Special report, Tropical Storm Florence. 900,000 without power in the Carolinas as Tropical Storm Florence continues to dump torrential rains. Meteorologist Chad Myers says strong winds are also battering the region.
It depends on where you are in one of these bands. These bands are still making winds of 55 miles per hour, at least especially gusts. Closer to the eye or the center now that's on land, it's a little bit less. But every time you get a batch of rain coming off the ocean, that wind's going to pick up.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said danger.
Some of the areas will be impacted that have rarely experienced any flooding. Get prepared and stay alert for forecast updates and emergency evacuation orders.
The National Hurricane Center predicts up to 40 inches of rain could fall along the North Carolina coast. Inland areas may see 5 to 10 inches of rain. I'm Ann Cates.
In Rolling Meadows, watch out for a crash at Kerchief and Wilkie Road. In Lombard, got a wreck at Roosevelt Road and Myers Road. On the expressways, the Edens slow heading northbound, and the Spur also pretty tight in both directions. Now there's construction out there. On the Kennedy, 48 coming in, 26 going. Lakeshore Drive back out, not bad. On the Dan Ryan, you are 22 coming in. You slow up around the Stevenson or so, outbound good. 57, not bad. Bishop Ford slows in about 115 to Stony Island. Lakeshore Drive, heavy in a couple of spots due to construction in both the directions. Also northbound from Roosevelt to Jackson. On the Tri-State Tollway, you slow between Balmoral and the Irving Park Toll Plaza. Also northbound between Bensonville and the Balmoral. From the WLS AM 890 Traffic Center, I'm Ken Zier with the next update in 30 minutes.
Who would you like to win $1,000 just to spend on? Weekdays at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. International Fuel and text it to 95819 for your shot at $1,000. It's 4K Day. Sponsored locally by Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning on WLS AM 890. Go to WLSAM.com for rules and info.
Driving means
freedom,
exploration,
fun,
pride,
flexibility,
protection,
friendship,
escape,
independence.
Distracted driving means
danger,
recklessness,
irresponsible,
chaos, police, devastation,
injury,
death.
Safe driving means staying alert and staying alive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Win $1,000. Just make sure you're listening at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. weekdays. It's 4K a day on WLS AM 890.
312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. Home Sweet Home Chicago, officially powered by the fine people at ComEd. We're going to be going over to Joe, but first, Dale. Dale, you're on the air. You're in the air with Home Sweet Home Chicago. How are you, Dale? Dale.
Yeah, hi, David. How are you?
Good, buddy. How can we help you, my friend?
Well, I just wanted to call and tell you I'm not a very articulate type of person, but I wanted to convey my deepest thanks. Monday evening, he also referred me, like yourself, to Mr. Leahy, probably to seek an appointment with him in the future. But I can't thank you enough, and you truly are a man of your word. You work all kind of hours, and you are very concerned about a person's situation, and I just wanted to convey my deepest thanks for your call and help with all that, and hopefully it will be able to get us on vacation this week to discuss some of our tax situations and all as well.
I hope so. I do not remember the phone call because I talk to hundreds of people a week, so I apologize. And you probably don't want to go into too much detail because it's probably a private matter, but I listen. People like, oh, I can't believe you called. I'm like, I can't call everybody. Joe, you get.
No, but I do appreciate what the guy's saying is that you do answer your phone,
yes,
and it doesn't matter what time it is.
Right.
So,
yeah, and if you say call me, I call you, and if I'm not sleeping, I'll call you, and if I'm not sleeping, Desi's the same way. Desi's not sleeping. Desi will sell you home at 1 in the morning if she could get her ass into that house.
Sandy, I'm going to call her shortly. I see.
Right, and we got a call
Taylor.
from a listener wanting more information about down payment assistance program. Dale, I appreciate what you're saying. This is what we do. This isn't an act. This is what
I know.
The people on the show are mostly business owners. Roy's been in business almost 40 years. Joe, you've been in business almost 40 years. Steve, you've been in business
20
since you were 20 years. Desi, you've been a realtor.
I don't want to outdo Roy, but 42 for me.
I'm sorry, 42 for you.
No worries on that count.
I've been doing mortgages.
Obviously, you've been around longer.
I've been doing mortgages for.
But clearly, I'm the youngest in the room
Yes.
here.
I've been doing mortgages for 18 years.
Want to play that?
No, I don't want to play that. No, because it'll get nasty, and then it'll escalate rapidly. 312-591-8900. So, Dale, thank you. I hope you get the assistance that you need from Steve, because that's why we send people over to recommend people call the people on the show, because they're trusted advisors, they're trusted partners, and I could be rest assured that if you go to Tom Jenke, he will design a basement for you, or a kitchen, or a toilet for you. If you go to Igor, he'll take care of your hardwood floor and flooring needs. I know you go to Dave Schluter. I know that I don't have to worry about anything on the legal side. You go to one of the 5 or 6 realtors on the show. I know they're just signed up Junk King, okay? If you want to have crap picked up from your house and not have to schlep it up out of the basement, call Junk King. They're less expensive than the other junk guys that you hear on the radio, and they're now part of the show. I meet with everybody that wants to be a sponsor, and we vet them. You're not just going to come on willy-nilly and join the show. You got to pass a certain test that we've established here at LS with me and the sales team. We're not just going to run wild and let anybody come on and screw up in the reputation of the show. We built this show from different stations and different names over the past 15 years. We're not throwing it out. You've been with me, Steve, for 5-6 years. Roy, you've been with me for like 2-3 years. Joe, you've been with us for 3-4 years. Desi, you've been with us for 2 years. Almost 2 years. Schluter's been with us for 6-7 years. Gary Novell's been with us, God knows, from the first days on the show. Gary started when we were at WCKG back in 2004 or 2002, whenever we started. So this is what we do, Dale. I really appreciate you calling, bud. Like I said, I don't remember the phone call, but.
Oh, God. Thank you very much, there, David. You have a great day now.
No, and please call in after Steve helps you and fill us in on what he was able to do, okay?
Will do. Thank you very much.
All right, my friend. Thank you. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900. I wish I remember all the calls. Roy, how many calls you get a week?
None.
Right. I got people. We got people for that. Laura Ann, his son, and his grandkids.
Yes.
those are his wife, his sons.
Well,
and then
no, Roy, if I'm getting a call, something's really wrong, right? Do you agree with that statement?
No, that's true. I mean, we've both got strong organizations,
Right.
and you don't want us, getting directly involved because
we'd goof it up.
All right, Mr. Goof It Up, let's talk about your punch list. A caller
great,
called in
because,
two weeks ago.
Even talking here today, it's to your point. It's so great to have the confidence to refer you.
Yeah.
To
Anybody.
refer Team Hochberg, right? And I know David's not going to be the one to pick up the call.
Unless you tell me, hey, my girlfriend and my wife's best friend's girlfriend and her husband are in a car going to see a house. Call them now to pre-qualify them.
No, and that's what I'm saying. If it is something that you need to handle, and you handed that right off to Abby, and Abby took care of it.
Right.
So it's a confident builder to have you to pick up the phone, does he?
That's
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I appreciate it. It was good. It's good stuff.
As far as contracts go, Roy, I just mentioned it. One of the things that keeps coming up with customers call us, kind of like you, Dave. They'll call you after they get hooked into a bad deal or question the deal they got into.
Right.
Same thing happens at Mega. This other contractor did this. Now we got to get out of it. What can we do from here? Checklist with things that are commonplace, right? It seems like the permit thing keeps coming up. So now a contractor will go to your house, say he's going to do your roof, your siding, or your kitchen, and say, you don't need a permit. Or worse than that, not even address it. The job gets stopped, he gets in trouble, he disappears. I've heard it 10 times this year so far.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
when don't you need a permit?
Well, so
paint. You need a permit to paint? No, I'm serious. I mean,
and here's what.
How would a homeowner know you need a permit or not?
Exactly to that point, though, Dave. As long as somebody is spelling it out in the contract, my point is, if it's in writing, you can depend on it, right? Yeah. So there has to be a line that says permit. If the contractor tells you you do not need a permit, have him write it in and have him take responsibility for it.
Or it should say in there, any permits required will be, we'll procure any permits required.
Hang on. To this point, my sister-in-law, Debbie, in Deerfield, she had basement challenges. Roy went out, his team went out, you need to put something in. Great. Dug up their front lawn, replaced whatever needed to be replaced. In Deerfield, you need a permit. So the company got a permit, but then they installed a different part than the permit required.
You mean back in time?
Back whenever they
Sure,
10, 15 years ago. So they dug it up, told my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, we're going to fix this. They went to the village of Deerfield or town whatever of Deerfield, got the permit, came out, dug it up, backhoe everything, replaced the part that needed to be replaced with the part that wasn't called for in the permit. So they screwed her over, and how the hell is she supposed to know? Here's the permit, and then they bought an inferior product, installed it, filled the hole back up without having the inspector come out to inspect it before they filled the hole, which, Roy, is that legal or illegal?
No, I mean, every village is different, but generally, especially something like that, excavation, you're covering something up or whatever, the inspector should come out and inspect it before it's covered up, And, so, the problem is, I don't mean to cut in your time, Joe, but with permits, so many times you ask, well, what do you need a permit for? Depending on what village you're in, you need a permit to plant a rose bush. Yeah. I swear.
You do.
Because a lot of villages use this as a revenue producing,
Absolutely.
not to protect the consumer so much, just to get revenue.
Right.
So
It
there's
works
that.
both ways, though, right?
Yeah.
So at times it does protect the consumer.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do you know when you need one? Just call. Unless you trust the
And
contractor
like
and
you
he's
say,
going to take care of it.
the consumer has exposure there because they
Yes.
have work done without a permit. And like I say, the contractor's gone. It's still a homeowner's problem. So it's not that contractor's problem anymore. So
Well, the woman after it was quote unquote fixed, so it wasn't fixed.
Yeah.
So you
And
can't.
It's not the village's problem.
No,
you know, and
homeowner's
stuff,
problem.
so,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no,
I thought that's important because people are like, what the hell do I need a permit for?
I do think it's important that you get everybody's input. The permit thing is one of the major ones that come up, right? And I can't stress it enough that there has to be a line in that contract that brings your attention to it.
And that's a big differentiator, because the cost of the permit, may seem negligible or not, but then, having
Scheduled
the inspection,
inspections, right.
it slows the job down. It costs the contractor money to get the permit and get it done right. The guy who doesn't, because he's cutting that and things and all. So it makes it
bonded in that town.
Yeah, you have to be licensed, and then you get a permit.
You got to get a bond on top of it. So there's costs associated for the contractor with that permit process as well. Right? So if he's skipping it, you're not really comparing apples to apples.
Right. And you might not be covered in case if there's any type of thing that goes wrong down line, right? If you screw up something, if it's not permitted and you impact your neighbor, then your neighbor could come back to you as well, because it's on your land that wasn't permitted, that caused further damage down line.
Oh, great point. I don't know if they could cause something like that, but they'd be exposed to.
Well, again, if you had work done without a permit and then it comes to light because you caused a problem either for yourself or for your neighbors, wherever, the village is going to come in and just say, rip all this up and redo it because we don't know what the rest of it is. And so it could be, you're going to end up paying more than twice for this, and you're going to pay the cost for a permit then. So, it's just not a corner to be cut.
And I guess what I'm saying too, Dave, is that we're not saying that the company's bad or the contractor's bad. They might not even know they need a permit. I mean,
they should.
Yeah, absolutely, Desi, I agree. But we're not saying they're trying to scam you. We're saying you have to know. You have to know that you need a permit line on your contract. That's all we're saying. We're not telling anybody how the other guy should operate.
So that should be on everybody's checklist.
Absolutely. So you have to know what permit's being supplied or who's responsible for it. If the contractor is, that's fine. And if there is no permit required, call up and find out.
Got it. Because somebody could quote something saying that they don't need a permit a lot less expensively than somebody that doesn't need a permit, and it could be tens of thousands of dollars on the job.
Your exposure is unlimited at that point.
Right, it's going to be there. Hey, Joe, are you building this check? So you got other things you're going to talk about besides?
We will. So
every week we're going to tune in. This is number one on the checklist.
Yeah.
There's 20 things on the checklist where you got to.
And I have somebody's writing something.
You got to listen. You got 19 more weeks to go till the checklist is complete.
Well, what's even funnier than that, I brought my iPad last week with the writing on it, and my iPad went dead, right?
He's like, you got a charger for this thing? I'm like, no. He's like, son of a bitch. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WTV.com.
You know what's really talk about the holidays too early.
I agree, but I want to remind everyone that the holidays are coming. And if you want to remodel your kitchen, that time is now.
Tom Jenke, I know your Edge Kitchen and Bath is where people should go for a kitchen remodel.
Absolutely.
How long does a typical remodel take?
Usually it takes 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the product lines you choose.
I guess the first step is to come by the Edge.
Yes, our designers will make your dream kitchen come true, all before the holidays.
Okay, so planning ahead can be a good thing.
It is.
I better start planning my wish list now.
Get a new kitchen in time for the holidays at the Edge Kitchen and Bath in Builder Supply Outlet on Cermak Road at 25th Avenue in Broadview.
Or the Edge Kitchen and Bath in Orland Park.
High-end look without the high-end price. The Edge Kitchen and Bath Showroom.
Online at edgekitchenandbath.com.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, Nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found balance of living
Yes. Two 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code WLS.
Here's Stephanie Saturdays from 3 till 6 p.m. on WLS AM 890.
312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com, WLSDavid.com. For all of your contact information for the show sponsors, you can go to 312-591-8900 and text us as well. Time, if so, Permaseal is not the company for you. Permaseal was at a home show and heard stories from homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Duh! Well, of course it does, the knucklehead. If it's not raining, it's not going to leak. Guess what? That basement is not going to fix itself. So every time it rains, you're going to get water in there. So why don't you fix it like I'm doing? It's just getting worse the longer you wait. The Permaseal team believes your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. They do big jobs and small jobs. And most importantly, the appointment is free, zip, zilch, no cost whatsoever. Just give them a call right now. Call is free. Their advice is free. Their estimation is free. 800-421-SEAL. There are no other waterproofing companies that offer no haggle pricing and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal at 1-800-421-SEAL. That's 1-800-421-7325. Go to permaseal.net.
Roy, do you feel good about paying David to do a live read while you're in the studio?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's nice to hear it from somebody else who also believes it and is passionate about it and has personal knowledge. So.
Who provides housing for one of his employees. I have my own Permaseal room in my house.
That's nice.
So when I ever go to sell it, I can like, Howard, why don't you take them through all the work that Permaseal has done?
All right, so in fairness, though, David, I mean, you'd already had some work done by some other...
Right, it wasn't done correctly.
It wasn't done, and so we tried to work with your system and things like that, and it just... and that's why we've had to come back. It isn't...
No, it wasn't. No, I keep having problems in my basement due to other people's work.
Yeah, and we didn't just do your whole basement.
I get
what
you're
go. You know,
I see what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no.
It's important that the listeners know.
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah.
And a lot of times we'll do that.
Sure.
We don't do the whole basement every time. Sometimes we do.
No,
we
right.
offer that as an option, and so you don't have any
get
more
all nervous,
problems.
Roy.
We do
We'll
the whole
explain
basement.
it.
Keep coming back
No.
and
Here's what
getting more
happens.
work.
Here's what happens. My wife loves to stick stuff down the garbage disposal, even though I told her numerous times. Roy Spencer has repeatedly said on the show, don't stick stuff down the garbage disposal. So I have Howard Hughes, he's our personal plumber, comes out at least once a year to route out my sink, right? Which is great for Roy, right? And Howard Hughes, because it keeps him busy, right? Even though I tell my wife, take the crap, throw it in the garbage, and then throw it in the garbage, right? Put it outside garbage. Oh, no, we're going to put it down the sink. So at least 3 times we've had our kitchen sink routed. Then another time what happened was a seal broke on my window in my basement, and I had water coming in. Well, Roy's like, well, you should have a drain in your window well. And we've talked about this, and I take a picture, I send it to Roy. I'm like, well, I don't have a drain. And then he sends his crew out, and they dig up 6 inches of mud, and there's a drain underneath the mud. Well, they did have a drain, but over the past 13, 14 years, the water came underneath the culvert and covered up my drain. My drain wasn't working. So guess what? Dig out, put new drain in, went down to the drain tile, put 2 in to make sure I didn't have any challenges on the west side of my house. Okay, great, no problem. Putting in new carpet. So we start moving stuff away from the wall. So on the east side of my house, we're pulling stuff away and the carpet's wet. I'm like, son of a bitch. Now what's happening, right? Never noticed it before. We had a seal done. The previous owner put a seal, which fixed that leak. But then what happens, Roy, when people put a seal and don't put drain tile?
Well, you dam pressure up. It creates more pressure. It moves, comes up someplace else.
20 feet down. And so I have a problem there. So we pull the stuff up. And with all this rain, all of a sudden, water starts coming in other areas of my basement that we've never had before. And a lot of people are experiencing the same thing because you never had it. We've never had this rain. So now what we're doing is we're putting drain tile around the entire of the basement so I can move Howard out of my basement and not have him in my basement anymore. So it's not like Roy did or
No, I understand.
No, they do great work. Just
but
the fact
Roy got nervous that
right. No,
the listeners are going to think
I apologize.
that he's always,
It was not that.
You can just sell them your house as like a training
right,
site.
as a training ground. Right. well, wait a minute. The other thing happened. I'm outside. It's a beautiful day, and I start seeing water churning up.
That's a funny one, too.
I had a sinkhole starting. I go, Roy, this isn't good. I took a picture, and then all of a sudden, as I'm taking the picture, water starts spilling up. I'm like, well, this really isn't good. So I took a picture of the gigantic hole that's in the corner of my house, and so he came out. Something broke down, wore out. It was a pump or something that wore out.
It was a pipe fitting, I think, that come loose for your discharge.
Roy, buy that house.
Right. So whoever buys the house
it's
next,
in good shape.
It's gonna be solid because my basement.
I don't have any problem.
So it wasn't like I had Roy out for his day. So I just needed all this work all at the same time in the past 24 months. So it all worked out. For the love of God. 312-591-8900, 312-591-8900, WLSDavid.com. Steve and I were talking about, and I want you guys to chime in. Everything's going online, right? You want to buy a car, you go online. Okay, basically nobody wants to talk to anybody anymore. That's why BMO Harris is probably getting out of the mortgage business because they don't think they could have to talk to anybody anymore. Realtors, right? You could sit in your underpants and say you want to buy a three-bedroom, two-bathroom house with a two-car garage, hit send, and somebody sitting on their couch eating bonbons will take, we'll get a ding, and we'll say, for 1%, we'll list your house, but it doesn't
Get
underneath
what you pay
it.
for.
Right. Underneath it, it doesn't say, oh, by the way, you still have to pay the selling realtor or the buying realtor 3% fee, or else we're not going to bring anybody to the house. Dummy. Okay, but we're in a point-and-click society, Steve, and that's where, he's like, well, what's happening with your business? I'm like, well, the people that want to point-and-click, go right ahead. Okay, but what happens to your sphincter, in general, when you have a buyer that says, I have an approval, a pre-approval from an online lender?
Cringe.
Yes, right. Your whole body tightens up.
Yes.
Okay, right. Same
But
thing
it's
with-
true. I mean, you prefer to have relationships with
Yes.
the person who is going to write your mortgage and sell you your home because they actually know you.
Do it on the cheap.
click.
Yeah.
Right. They
Some
will
things
not.
work online where you don't need human expertise, right?
Underwear, you can buy socks, shoes, and underpants. I wrote a commercial like that. Okay, and maybe a book because
you
it's a
could
book.
buy a grill. You should see the things that come into my front door.
Well, mine too.
Mine too.
That's right. Clothing and shoes. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I didn't have the ring things, maybe there'd be other kids running around, named UPS. But what I'm saying is, I could call this guy and get this. Oh, sure, go ahead, knock yourself out, or you get it done right.
Well, we're in the customer service business.
Right.
I think that's the
Well,
common denominator
I think
here.
so
It's
is the
about
realtor.
service. Well, that's what I'm saying. We're all in the service business, and
you are,
when you're in the
Dave.
service
Not about the
business,
price.
doing that in person online, as opposed to dealing with people that care.
They're
the
trying
right
to take.
people.
They're trying to
That's the
take
difference.
David's business, which is a customer service business,
Exactly.
and put it on a clicking
And
rocket or
it's
whatever.
not-
When you
So
see a
that
lot
can
of
be-
when you see a lot of online reviews, you don't see a lot of it was the cheapest one there. It's always, hey, they cared about me, they did what. That's when you get people that really are gonna appreciate your work. Right? No, again, very few reviews are, hey, that was the cheapest one I could find.
This is a true story. It just happened. We had a lead come in from Kentucky. I'll tell in 30 seconds. We'll go around and say goodbye. Lead came in from Kentucky. Pearl's not licensed in Kentucky. I called another lender who I have a relationship with who is licensed in all 50 states, and they have a call center, right? It's a big, maybe named after a ballpark on the south side. So I call the guy that does what I do, and I'm like, hey, I got this. If I have it, I'll give it to you, okay? He's like, all right, great. And I said, how are your guys? I said, we went head-to-head with one of your online guys. And he's like, oh, it's ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, they quoted some ridiculous rate. He's like, good luck if something goes wrong. This is a guy who works at the same company, right? Who does what I do face-to-face instead of their own call center. He's like, good luck if something goes wrong, having them try to right? Okay, so this is a guy who works at the same company. His company sponsors ballparks, okay, saying, yeah, good luck with our call center. All right?
And something almost always goes wrong.
Please.
That's why it's not. That's why you need someone that's good.
You're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of financing. What the hell's wrong with you people? And you know what? If you want to point and click, we're not your guys. Good luck.
That's right.
Have a nice day. And if something goes sideways and you don't want the service, good luck with that. Okay, Joe. You're not the least expensive provider. It is what it is. If you want to come to us, you're going to pay for the service, but you're still going to get low rate.
664-6649.
All right, make a push.
847-658-8989.
Desi.
773-904-0408.
Roy.
800-421-CLSEAL.
And I am David Hochberg of Team Hochberg at Pro Mortgage, 312-751-1333. Thanks for listening to this show. Starting December, the first Saturday in December, we're going to have another show. We're still going to continue doing this show, but we're going to have another show on AM 560 at 1 to 2 o'clock talking about experienced homeowners. Looking for a name of the show. So help me, send me an email, David at PearlDavid.com. 312-751-1333. 312-751-1333. Thanks for listening. Go Bears, go Blackhawks, go Cubs, go White Sox. Have a great weekend.